Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Will Haney here. Walking to our studio right now because we're going to do a quick cut-in on air as well, but let's see if this will work. There we go. There was a new warning that was just issued for portions of Van Buren and Kalamazoo counties. So we're going to hop on the airwaves for just a moment and give a quick update on this. This warning was just rolled out. Primarily concerning hail up to about an inch in diameter. This would be in the Mattawan area right now, right on Red Arrow Highway, kind of near the high school, the Mattawan High School. And this storm is tracking to the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. You can see it there. I know it says Antwerp. I don't really understand why our weather graphics doesn't show Mattawan or Pawpaw over Antwerp. But nonetheless, that's kind of the main deal that we're looking at. Hey, Jordan, our master control operator. Jordan, if you can hear me, I am on Weather 1 IFB. If you want to try talking to me. But yeah, we'll jump in here, everybody that's on the stream. And this is concerning this storm right here that's, again, right on top of Mattawan, actually exiting Mattawan right now. We had this hail core go up between Pawpaw and Mattawan right on top of I-94. That dark red bullseye that you see there approaching Almena Township, that would be the most likely area for inch diameter hail. There's also this area now just into Kalamazoo County, just on the kind of like east side of Mattawan, between Mattawan and Texas Township, probably out towards Eagle Lake, for example. Some very torrential rain and also the potential for some maybe 1 inch hail. I don't know why my camera keeps flipping the wrong way. Let's see. There we go. Okay, let's see if it stays. Jordan, if you're able to hear me, I have not heard you at all. And we might need to figure out which button to press so you can talk to me if you're listening. Here comes Jordan. Are you trying to talk to me?
I was trying to.
Okay, so I'm on Weather 1 IFB. I don't know if you have different...
I do. I don't know if I have the ability to talk to you on your thing, just listen to you.
Oh, really?
Which is weird. Let me go try.
Keep trying, because I think I've talked to MCO before, or had them talk to me.
Okay.
But yeah, just keep trying, and then if we can't figure something out, I might have you just... we could literally do like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown as you walk in and hit it.
Yep.
But yeah, keep trying. All right, we're trying to coordinate a cut-in for TV as well. This is driving me crazy. I don't know why it keeps flipping my camera, even though... All right, well, I might just have to do this sideways. So my apologies there, everybody. Apparently my phone is not liking the whole flipping around. Yes, I can, Jordan, if you can hear me. You found the button. So yeah, Jordan, I'm pretty much ready if you want to go with a quick cut-in. If the timing works out, we can do a quick cut-in live on TV. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just let me know. Okay, we're waiting for a quick commercial, but the main concern here is, again, this severe thunderstorm right now approaching the Texas Township area. It's right on Texas Township, really. There's also the biggest concern of 1 inch in diameter hail. This, I would be curious if anyone's in Mattawan right now. Again, I apologize that I keep flipping. I don't know why this video camera is not cooperating with me. But I'm also going to pull this stream up really quick just to see if anyone has any reports of any damage, anything like that. What's interesting is the wind within this cell, everybody, is not overly impressive. It is primarily a hail threat. So when we look at velocity here, nothing too impressive jumping off the page. Certainly no rotation being noted. Here's a look at the velocities. And near Almena Township, that's about to cross over M43 on the very west part of Kalamazoo. You can kind of think of that. Maybe some gusts up to like 40 within that and some very torrential rain. But overall, why does it keep flipping? That's very annoying. Anyways, I'm making sure you all can hear me. Okay, you can't hear me. So yeah, that hail detection tool right there showing 2 pockets of possible hail. The one just exiting Mattawan that just crossed over the Red Arrow Highway. That's in the area of County Road 370. My eyes are failing me. 375. So that's out in Almena Township. There would be a possible hail core there, and then maybe also some pea to nickel size hail on the west side of Texas Township. That's right near some of the lakes in Texas Township. We're not quite to 8th Street or 9th Street yet. Or wait, shoot. I'm trying to get my bearings a little bit on here. Okay. So yeah, Jordan, give me 1 second. I'm also coordinating. I'm talking to Jordan in my ear really quick, everybody, because we're going to do a quick cut in on air just for like a minute. Jordan, give me like 2 seconds. All righty. Okay, so Jordan, just count me down like from 5. And then, like I said, I'll just say returning to programming or something along those lines. This is going to be about. Good evening, West Michigan. I'm meteorologist Will Haney, just cutting into programming to alert you of a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued just a few minutes ago. This includes portions of Van Buren and Kalamazoo counties. It goes through 8:45 p.m. The main concern here is hail and wind with this right now within this cell, probably about 40 miles per hour or so. But the most impressive hail core is about to cross over M43 on the very western outskirts of the Kalamazoo area. As we look, it's just east of Almena Township, that dark red bullseye that you see there in the center of your screen. Again, M40 is where it's about to cross, M43, excuse me, and that is right here. So this would be the best potential for possible 1 inch in diameter hail. If you're within this warning, just want you inside, away from windows. And if you want to, if you're maybe Cooper Township, if you're on the north side of Kalamazoo, for example, north side of Kalamazoo, not technically in this warning, but up towards Cooper Township, you are. You may want to run out and get the car in the garage. Just a word of advice there, just in case this continues to produce the potential for 1 inch diameter hail. And wind gusts up to about 40 to 50 miles per hour still could bring some lighter tree limbs down. Now, as we look off to the southwest, no additional warnings, but there still are quite a few storms capable of heavy rain, lightning, and that as well. So we'll be watching those as they continue to progress. But right now, we'll send it back to programming. We'll continue to update you if there are any additional warnings issued. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube on the WWMT pages. All right. So we should be good there. I don't see them issuing a warning yet, but this storm in Richland right now, kind of the Comstock area, Comstock Northwest up towards Richland, certainly has possibly some very small hail within it. But right now, the most convincing hail signature is that dark red bullseye that we see right now. And okay, sorry, Jordan was talking to me. So yeah, that's the most convincing right now. There also is probably some small hail, maybe like I was saying on air in the lakes area of Texas Township, but no tornado threat with this. It's not impossible, but it would have to be a very fluky type of thing for that to come together tonight. These are very disorganized thunderstorms, but they just have quite a bit of height to them, and I can actually show you guys that. We'll do like, essentially this is like taking an x-ray or a slice through the storm, and you can see just how tall some of these updrafts are. And these actually have come down from earlier, which is a sign that they may be weakening somewhat. So it looks like this hail core would be maybe around 30,000 feet. Earlier on, I was seeing some cores up to about 40,000 feet. Generally speaking, the taller you get into the atmosphere, the colder the air, right? So storms, the taller they get, they're able to tap into more cold air. You get a little bit more hail formation. So that is an overall good sign that this might be weakening somewhat from a little bit earlier. But overall, it is still warned for a severe thunderstorm. So we'll stay on this feed. And again, my apologies that I am flipped the wrong way. I've tried to flip back and my camera is fighting me. Now I'm completely upside down. So that's cool. There we go. We'll see if it stays this way. I'll just hold you all. All right. So there's also this other cell that doesn't have a warning right now, but again, that's in the Richland area. Wouldn't be shocked if right along D Avenue up there, East D Avenue, on the west side of Richland, I wouldn't be shocked if that little dark splotch right there had at least some pea-sized hail. Again, I don't want anyone to panic tonight. This is nothing that crazy, but we could have some hail, maybe up to an inch within this cell. In the Texas Township area. It rolled through Mattawan. I would be very curious. I'll have to read some comments, which I have not done. I would be very curious, anyone in Mattawan or Paw Paw area, if anyone has any hail reports or if you've seen anything. Thunder and lightning reports, that's helpful. No high winds. Yeah, specifically, I would be really intrigued. Anyone that lives pretty much in that area of like Red Arrow Highway, up towards Mattawan High School, and then out towards Paw Paw. There was an area that had the most convincing hail signature work its way through there. That's what prompted this warning. And right now, I'm not seeing it look quite as impressive as it did a little bit ago. I did just get one message. Let me see if I got anything. Okay, Paw Paw, there's some hail. It's about what I would expect. So whoever this was, let's see. Lindsay Mantione. That's a cool name. Anyways, Lindsay, if you're watching this, thank you for sending this in. I can flip this around really quick, guys, and show you, as long as you promise not to judge my broken phone. But that's from Lindsay. That's probably like maybe 3/4 of an inch, half an inch diameter hail, which is about what I would have expected in Paw Paw. Now, there was a little area, maybe Lindsay's. I'm not sure if Lindsay, if you're on like the east side of Paw Paw, west side. But that is definitely kind of right on par with what I would have thought from this thunderstorm as it looked on radar. So that's, again, what prompted this warning is primarily a hail threat, not a wind, not a tornado threat, just hail right now. Now, I will say those brighter greens that you see there in the Doherty Corners area, that's going to be up towards Alamo Township, Cooper Township, kind of between Alamo and Cooper. It will eventually cross 131. There could be some small hail, that and, of course, some really torrential rain. It's going to be raining cats and dogs within any of these thunderstorms tonight. And we'll give you a wide scope view here in just a second of what's going on elsewhere. But I'm going to turn off that little warning box, and I want to just see how fast some of these winds are being estimated. Yeah, pretty much right on what I was saying earlier. About 40 miles per hour would be the max of some of these storms as we see it right now. It's not to say they can't flare up and strengthen a little bit, but overall, I think right now it's primarily just a very spotty area of some hail. We're also going to watch these storms off to the southwest. These definitely look a little bit more organized down towards, say, Valparaiso, Indiana. This multi-cell cluster in northwest Indiana starting to take on that little bow shape. So this isn't an immediate threat for us, but this could, if that maintains its strength, which I would put that at questionable. I think our opportunity is essentially now through about 11 p.m. or so with some of the best storm ingredients. We're going to start to lose a little bit. But that looks pretty impressive. It doesn't have any warnings right now. Jordan, you're good. Yeah, I heard what you said. I had just killed my mic just to be safe. So, yep. Thanks, man. Yeah, so these cells, these are all moving. Let's see. I can kind of get an idea of how fast these are moving pretty quickly. Let me just do something really quickly. Those are moving a little faster, maybe closer to like 35. So if we put a track on this, I'm trying to gauge you guys. That storm motion is a little bit more easterly. It's moving slightly northeast. But what I'm trying to do really quickly is just give us an idea, if these maintain their strength, of about when they would push in to not 350 miles an hour. That would be a very fast moving storm. Maybe closer to like 10 perhaps, but like I said, questionable if they maintain that strength. I would be surprised if they did. But just the fact that that storm complex down south of Michigan City has that slight bow shape to it definitely has my eye. There's also this cell right now in, I think that's St. Joseph. No, it's just south of St. Joseph County, or just south of Cass County. So I don't know my Indiana counties. Sometimes I mix them up, but it's really confusing because there's a St. Joseph County, Indiana, if you didn't know, and I believe that's St. Joseph County, but don't quote me on that. Feel free to correct me though. This will eventually push into, I would say, that like US 12 stretch from White Pigeon to Sturgis. You all are probably seeing some of this lightning off to the southwest, but as of now, this storm near Concord, Indiana, that's not severe warned right now. So anyways, that also just bears watching at this time, as that could continue to lift into St. Joseph County. Earlier on, that one was packing a little bit more wind than the cells over West Michigan, but it looks like that has since weakened quite a bit as well. So I don't see a very strong wind potential with that. This is the last hour loop. Yeah, I'm just looking at this storm really quick. Yeah, it looks like maybe still some 40-mile-per-hour gusts as I see it right now. Things aren't brightening up, which is a good sign. It doesn't show that wind is intensifying. Yeah, but out towards Oshimo right now, right on just north of M43. Let me get you some cross streets. So that is North 2nd Street, out towards where that comes into G Avenue. That's where our most convincing hail core is, if you're familiar. So we're talking like out towards the trail. Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on what the trail is called? Oh my gosh, I've biked on the trail several times. Help me out, y'all. What's the trail? The trail that goes to South Haven. Oh my gosh. This is the most epic brain fart of my life. All right. Anyways, that's going to drive me absolutely crazy. Y'all, so I'm not trying to complain, but I had a migraine yesterday, and I get really weird, like kind of brain fog the day after, where stuff like this happens, where I can't remember just like things that are very basic. So anyways, that's going to be my brain fog moment of the day, I think. So yeah, Doherty's Corners right now has a little hail. Wouldn't be shocked if there was some hail even within Kalamazoo, but it's going to be very, very small. The cell is very lackluster right now in Richland, but producing some heavy rain and lightning. But if you're just joining us, here, let's see who got my trivia question. If anyone is on here and wants to tell me what that trail is called. I don't know why, but I don't know if I'm getting all the comments coming in right now. Cal Haven. A lot of people. I'm sorry, my phone was lagging with the comments. So yes, the Cal Haven Trail. That's so embarrassing. All right. So we have one severe thunderstorm warning. 8:45 is when that expires. It is currently about 20 minutes away. And so far, I haven't seen this thing continue to strengthen, if anything. If anything, it has weakened somewhat. The hail signature within there, like I said, crossing M43 at 2nd Street, if that's the correct street. Yeah, 2nd Street. There's probably some nickel size hail within that. We did have one report of that a little bit earlier as the storm rolled its way on through Matawan. And let me give you just a roundup of what's out there really quick. We'll do that again. So I don't want anyone panicking on here. There's no threat of tornadoes right now, and that is not likely at all tonight. And overall, the wind with these storms has been underperforming compared to last night. Last night, we did have some pretty strong winds that went through Ottawa, Allegan, and Kent counties. If there was one storm that has my attention for wind, it's again this Boeing segment pushing through northwest Indiana to our southwest, but that might even take on more of a west or a easterly storm track. We'll watch this though. Right now, it's kind of moving this way. So that would potentially blow through South Bend. It doesn't even have a warning right now, which is a good sign. And generally speaking, I think as it continues to track farther east, it's going to lose a little bit better ingredients for severe weather. This storm was even looking a little bit more impressive as it pushed through South Bend and now is lacking some gusto. But this storm in still just south of the Michigan line will eventually impact White Pigeon, Cleaner Lake, out towards Sturgis area, for example, and it will probably track essentially along US 12 for a little bit through southern St. Joseph counties. We also still have some very impressive rain. If you're in Decatur, Marcellus right now, you're getting quite a bit of rain. Lawton area is getting some rain right now, but there's no immediate threat with that at all. There's some heavy rain right now out towards just west of Paw Paw on 94, but again, nothing severe. This goes all the way almost out to Lawrence, and it looks like even still some cells out towards, say, Paw Paw Lake in the Hartford area as well. But again, nothing too menacing there. We have this severe thunderstorm warning for hail, for up to 1-inch diameter hail, which, if you're curious, is right at the threshold for severe thunderstorm warnings. And anyways, how can I tell which way the storm is going? Seth, you generally just are looking at essentially an hour loop, and there's also some other ways we can kind of gauge that. But generally speaking, it's just a radar trend. You're looking at from, okay, where the cell started here, it's now here. You just kind of extrapolate a line. We can also look at the steering flow in the atmosphere, which is right around kind of the middle point of our atmosphere, generally speaking, the wind that actually steers thunderstorms. So there's a few different ways we can kind of look at storm motion, but that could be a whole little lecture of mesoscale meteorology. My comments are driving me a little crazy. My apologies, everybody. Yeah, Marissa reporting some lightning off to the west. So I apologize if I'm missing some comments, because I've certainly seen a lot. There's a lot more that have come in than what I can pull up on my phone for some reason. Gull Lake is probably getting also some pretty heavy rain right now, for sure. And, you know, the good thing about all this rain tonight, everybody, is that it's very beneficial. We definitely could use the rain. Not a whole lot right now up in Grand Rapids. Eventually, these storms, generally speaking, tonight are going to be on a northeasterly trajectory. So these storms that are in Kalamazoo County are going to eventually probably lift into Allegan and Berry counties. We'll see if they maintain their structure and their strength as well. Overall, this storm in Kalamazoo County right now is continuing to look a little less and less impressive. I wouldn't be shocked if there was still a little bit of hail, but I'll probably get off of here in just a moment. Probably let that warning expire. I'm going to check the chat really quick and see also if we've seen any viewer photos submitted. But it looks like, how long ago was that? About 10 minutes. Oh, they just refreshed it. It looks like they probably trimmed it down. Yes, this is a very small warning. This is primarily Alamo Township area on the north part of Kalamazoo, but US 131 right now is probably slow going out of Kalamazoo with that really heavy rain. And Cooper Township as well. If you're on the north part of Kalamazoo, you might, like I said, if you're in Alamo right now, if you're in Cooper Township right now, and you have a car that could be parked in the driveway, just to be extra safe, I don't want you to panic. We're not looking at like baseball hail or anything like that. This is going to be maybe 1-inch in diameter hail at best, but that's still enough to maybe do some very, very, very mild body damage. So if you can move your car in right now, I would just do it just to be safe. But also in the effort of being safe, you only got like another couple minutes because there's a lot of heavy rain and lightning approaching your area. Still a lot of heavy rain and lightning off to the southwest too. Like I said, near Decatur, a location that did see just shy of 1-inch diameter hail a little bit earlier, and these storms continuing to track to the northeast. It does look like this cell, I'm also kind of keeping tabs on down here, still not looking overly impressive. That's just south of Cass County. Will eventually push into St. Joseph County, but I don't see anything too menacing there other than just some brief heavy rain, some thunder, some lightning, maybe gusts up to like 35, 40. I think that's also going to be the wind threshold within this cell. You notice up here that this is indicated for radar indicated hail up to 1 inch, but the wind speed is less than 50. So if you're curious, a severe thunderstorm warning can be issued for hail, wind, both. But in this case, it is primarily a wind or primarily a hail threat, which is somewhat peculiar because the risk for an isolated wind gust was actually higher than the hail threat for today. But these storms were able to tap into some colder air aloft. And yeah, these just continue to look less and less impressive. I wouldn't be shocked if they were to drop that warning. They're probably going with it because some of these storms, a little bit earlier, they were kind of doing this, and then you'd have a just different hail core. Sometimes thunderstorms can have, especially in these kind of multi-cell clusters, they can have different updrafts and different downdrafts. So one kind of collapses and then another starts to go up. And we've seen that a couple times tonight. So they're probably just maintaining that warning just to be on the safe side. I still can't believe, y'all, that I couldn't remember Calhaven Trail. Again, I know the Calhaven Trail. I've biked on the Calhaven Trail 3 or 4 times. And I just, like I said, sometimes you're on a live stream and you just can't remember the most basic thing that you've talked about 100 times. So, like I said, fun times. So, let's see. Schoolcraft, you're getting some heavy rain. I'm sure some farmers happy down there. Marcellus also getting some heavy rain. That's down M40 to about M60. And it looks like maybe our first shower is starting to push into St. Joseph. By the way, I was talking about this storm a little farther south. That continues to look less and less impressive. So it might bring some brief heavy rain, some thunder and lightning, but I don't expect that to intensify. Generally, I think these storms are working their way towards less and less favorable conditions for severe weather. So as these continue to march east, I'm less and less impressed with the overall ingredients for severe storms tonight. So generally, I think these should continue to weaken as they inch farther east. The storm motion, though, I should be a little bit more clear, is more in a east-northeast direction. So it's more like this way, generally speaking. And I can put this into motion. You guys can kind of see that. Let's take a look at this cell. This one's right on top of like Gull Lake right now. So Gull Lake's getting a gully washer. Ha! Get it? A gully washer? All right. I'll see myself out. See, and even this one, indicated there by the darker reds. You see how that little like pocket of darker red just flared up? That's right along M89. As you're getting out of Richland, going out towards Gull Lake, there could be some hail there. That's like just east of that liquor store right on the corner of Richland. What am I thinking of? There's another brain fart for you. Yeah, so that's just past that little intersection right in the heart of Richland. As you're going out towards Gull Lake on M89, there might be a little bit of hail there. Just a little, but that is likely like maybe a quarter to a half an inch at best. So that's not going to really do much damage or anything like that. I think the bigger threat right now with this would just be driving through some heavy rain, some lightning. But I'm continuing to be less and less impressed by that cell right now, approaching Alamo and Cooper Township. And this one is now kind of flaring up a little bit more. So we'll see. I don't expect them to necessarily issue a warning with that, but yeah, at least some hail. Let's see. How big is this estimating right here? Probably like 3/4 of an inch, if that. Yep, almost exactly. So that's out Gold Road or M43 towards Richland. There could have just been some hail out there, but I would put it probably a little smaller than that's estimating. So if anyone does have any hail reports, feel free to send them my way. Chime in at wwmt.com/chime in. And there's a submit content button if you have any photos or anything like that. I don't know what the heck is going on with my comments, but that's also frustrating. Kalamazoo, Rocky, I'm not too worried. There are some storms in and around Kalamazoo. I'll put this back in the regional view, if you will. And there's storms on the north part of Kalamazoo that are a little bit stronger and out towards Gold Road. But I think the worst of it for Kalamazoo is not looking, man, that's kind of flaring up again. You see those darker reds that kind of flared up in between Alamo and Cooper on the map there. And then also this one might have some hail for sure. So Richland and towards Gull Lake getting some very heavy rain no matter what, but also some maybe like half-inch hail maybe. But honestly, let me check something else really quickly. Let me see if there's any reports. So it looks like there was one out in Almena Township. We're talking, okay, quarter inch hail, not quarter hail. Quarter hail means a lot different of a thing. Let's see, rain. Someone reported rain. Okay, helpful. Let's see. I don't see too many hail reports that have come in from these, but there's definitely two distinct hail cores right now. Again, I don't want you to panic or think there's 3-inch diameter hail. This is not that. But the first one is right on D Avenue between Alamo and Cooper Township. And that's a route I used to drive quite a bit. Then you also have this guy right on Richland, but more specifically, we're talking about out towards M89 and the South Gull Lake area. Let's get this out of the way. So there's your bearings. There's Gull Lake, and then I'll play this forward. You can see it's just on the south side of Gull Lake right now. People on the north side of Gull Lake probably are seeing like a curtain of rain across the lake right now. Let me also flip this over and just see. So it'll be interesting to see if they issue a new warning for that cell. Right now, I don't know if they are. One thing that is good, I just saw the emergency manager in Van Buren County was out near Mattawan, and with this, when the storm was going through, very little wind that he reported, so that's a good sign. Let's see. Just scanning some different things, making sure I'm not missing anything. My arm's gonna get fall asleep here in a second because I'm holding this tripod because my camera was not cooperating. All right, a lot of cool photos of lightning. It looks like so far. I don't see anything too crazy with hail. But yeah, if you're in Richland right now, I'd be curious to see if you're seeing any hail. You know, what's interesting is that Richland cell is arguably stronger than the one that has the warning right now. So if that says anything, let's do a little vertical scan. Yeah, that one really flared up. So it has a cloud top pushing 40, maybe a little bit above 40. And like I was saying a little earlier, we do these like almost X-ray scans just to give an idea of how tall that thunderstorm is. Generally speaking, as a thunderstorm is intensifying, it's going to continue to grow. And then once it starts collapsing or weakening, you'll start to see the cloud heights coming down a little bit. So as I kind of scan there, the main core of that updraft would be up to about 40,000 feet. Earlier on, there was a cell that was pushing into the Decatur area, which is where we did have some confirmed hail just below an inch in diameter that had a cloud top around 45,000 feet. So that was a lot stronger a little bit earlier on. And let me try to get back in this Facebook comment thing. I don't know why it's not working very well. All right. A lot of you are wishing for some rain. Aurora, I don't believe we're going to see any tornadoes tonight. No. So far, these storms have not produced really even much in the way of impressive wind, and especially I have not seen anything conducive for rotation. You know, is the chance 0? No, but it is like a 0.2% chance. So it's a very low chance. Excuse me, burping into the camera. So yeah, that has a pretty classic little hail core right now out towards between Richland and Ross Township, right in the Gull Lake area. Like on the south side, like we're talking Gull Lake Marina, probably getting some really heavy rain, maybe some small hail right now, out towards the dock at Bayview. Not that I know anything about that establishment. And then it also looks like a little, maybe some pea-size hail towards Flowerfield Township, which is just southwest of Schoolcraft area. You may see some maybe small hail within that as well. But again, no warning there. The only warning we have is right now for essentially Alamo and Cooper Township on the northwest part of Kalamazoo, and that's out towards D Avenue. But this warning is, like I said, a little underwhelming for me right now, and I think it is likely we're not going to see that extended, and it's going to expire in the next 5 minutes. Still some heavy rain in Decatur, in Schoolcraft as well. Like I was just saying, this storm I am not overly impressed with down approaching White Pigeon, but this is going to bring some brief heavy rain to the US 12 corridor of southern St. Joseph County. And then as we look off to the southwest, there's still some pretty strong storms down in northwest Indiana. And these will eventually, I think, blow through South Bend, eventually into St. Joe. But the fact of the matter is, we've seen this already. I think some of these storms are going to continue to weaken by the time they reach us. So I'll stay on here for a few more minutes, but I'll be watching this all night. And if we obviously see any more warnings issued, I will hop on and we will provide some updates both on social media and on air. So we are multitasking it up tonight, but I don't want anyone panicking. But if you are, like I said, in Gold Lake, I would just be inside away from windows. Richland out towards Ross Township. That's the most convincing area of some hail currently. Can switch this over. And again, this is our hail detection product. And overall, this isn't looking overly impressive. I oftentimes think this, I'm not going to lie, I think this overdoes it just slightly usually. So when this product, and this is like computer-based data essentially, sometimes it'll nail it, but more often than not, if it's saying hail 0.7, usually it's closer to like maybe 0.4, 0.5 in reality. So that would be maybe like nickel size hail right now along M89, just south of Gull Lake. That's not big enough, by the way, to do damage. Once you start getting an inch or larger in terms of hail, that's usually the threshold where you start to see at least some minor damage to things like a vehicle or a older roof, things like that. But I will zoom out and you can see what's going on. And we'll probably, like I said, wrap this up. I'm just going to get word from the National Weather Service to see if they have. Okay, so they say it will expire at 8:45, and there's no chatter about them extending any warnings. So I think that's a good sign. So overall, yes, there is going to be some storms out there. It might get a little loud at times, some heavy rain, some thunder, some lightning, but nothing to be overly concerned about at the moment. Like I said, I'll be monitoring things off to the southwest. If we see anything a little bit more impressive with this storm complex farther south, but I can even look at that really quick. And even while that looks a little bit more impressive, the wind right now within that cell is maybe, let's see, 45-ish. It's going to be my guess. So yeah, pretty close, about 43 miles per hour, which is, again, not going to prompt a severe thunderstorm. We would want to see, 55-ish plus wind speeds to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. The National Weather Service would, that is. So I hope this was somewhat helpful, just kind of giving you a round robin of who's seeing the rain, who's seeing the storms right now. Again, I don't want anyone panicking or sitting on the edge of your seat tonight. This is not that kind of a night, but this pretty much verified exactly what the expectations were. We're just like 1 or 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. And we'll see if any of these flare up anymore. But right now, so far, the history of these so far this evening has been just some pulsy little thunderstorms that are producing maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch diameter hail, which is maybe what's ongoing right now near Richland. Even still, I would say that has come down a little bit in intensity. Let's see. I'm going to just check in here. Strong hail in Richland, almost breaking my windows. Wow. Oh, man, Sarah. If you have a picture, that would be helpful, or like an actual diameter. I apologize. I'm just seeing that comment. And hail can sound a lot worse than, like, even nickel size hail will sound really like, oh my gosh, it's really coming down out there. But okay, raining hard in Plainwell. Thank you. Mostly interested. Second round of hail was dime size here in Richland with 1.1 inches of rain. Wow. Okay, that's helpful, Sandra. So dime size, not gonna. That's why we didn't have the warning, but still some decent hail. and 1.1 inches of rain. That's crazy. Because it hasn't, I mean, it's been raining for what, like 20, 30 minutes there, maybe? So that's some really impressive. Looks like Aaron saying there's hail in Otsego as well. Maybe on the south side of Otsego. Okay, the warning has expired, so there you have it. No warnings active right now. I don't see anything too menacing. These are very unorganized thunderstorms. They are not supercells, which are the big. I don't ever want to. I hate using the word scary, but supercells are the not good ones. These aren't supercells. These are just thunderstorms with some decent updrafts. Quick, I'll look at that. Let's just look at this wind speed real quick. Yeah, nothing. All right. So we've had a few hail reports. If you have any photos of said hail, feel free to send them my way, either via messenger, or even better would be to go to our website, wwmt.com/chime in, and hit the submit content. It does look like we're going to see another round of some storms that are going to go through Portage area, but nothing severe at this time. And again, not concerned with tornadoes tonight. If anything, it's just some really heavy rain, some thunder, some lightning, and maybe some hail up to maybe quarter of an inch, half an inch as of now. So I'm going to sign off so I can go catch my breath a little bit and get a drink of water. And like I said, if we see any additional warnings tonight, I will hop on here. I can give you really just a quick idea of the forecast going forward. I do think we're going to see some additional rain through tomorrow morning. So we'll see some of these showers and storms kind of pushing through even into the overnight. Don't be shocked if you hear a rumble of thunder. I think we'll see some showers in the morning tomorrow, mostly dry during the daytime, the afternoon. But, spotty shower or storm chance of like maybe 20, 30% later in the day tomorrow is still possible. Tuesday, I think, is one of our drier days in the week ahead, because now Wednesday and Thursday are definitely looking rainier than previously thought. So Wednesday, it looks like some rain lifts in by the afternoon and evening, some pretty steady rain at that. And then I think the heaviest rain will happen Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Thursday, we may have a few rumbles of thunder as well, but nothing severe looking likely right now. After that, things are looking dry and very pleasant towards next weekend. We'll get a return to that somewhat fall feel. Temperatures very much holding at or just above average, but we're not going to see any 80s in this 7-day like we've had as of the last week, essentially. Today ended our 80-degree stretch in Kalamazoo. We saw 7 consecutive 80-degree days and 9 total for this month. But so far, we're not seeing any more 80s in the near term or long-term forecast. So we'll see. But rainy for sure Wednesday into Thursday. And again, we'll watch for some more rumbles into the overnight tonight. But I don't want you to think that this is anything really that you need to necessarily worry about. We are at a very, very low risk for severe weather. And if we do see a severe thunderstorm, I think hail and maybe some gusts up to 50, 60 miles per hour would be the main concerns. But so far, these storms have underwhelmed as far as any wind potential. We've just seen a couple warnings issued for some hail pushing about an inch in diameter. So, yes, it's stormy out there. Do you need to panic? No. And we'll keep you updated. If anything starts to flare up, get a little bit more intense, you'll be the first ones to know. Like I said, both on air and online, I'll be updating the forecast. So follow me there, and we'll sign off. I just realized that's funny. I just realized I have to go walk down the hallway to shut off this live feed. But let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right. Thanks, Rocky. Thanks, Jenna. Thanks, Jeanette. Diana says raining hard and playing well. All right. Really quick, just for fun, y'all. I'll leave the radar loop going. That Schoolcraft storm is starting to catch my eye a little bit. There's probably some hail within that as well. Some very small hail, but yeah, it's very torrential rain in Schoolcraft. Decatur's gotten some action tonight as far as some really heavy rain. I mean, Decatur has gotten, I think, 3 rounds at least of these storms rolling over. I like how I said I was going to wrap this up, and now I'm just, here we go again. Starting to flare up a little bit. So yeah, Decatur did see just shy of 1-inch diameter hail a little bit earlier. Hail detection not picking up on that just yet. Yeah, see how I was saying these are generally, as they work farther east, starting to really fizzle. So you can see what happened to that storm I was tracking farther south. So yeah, Barry County, you'll be next for some rain if you're in Barry or up towards M37, I think, M37 on the north part of Battle Creek. But these storms are not overly impressive. All right. What I was going to do, though, before I forget, I'm going to walk outside. Hopefully I don't lose you guys. Let's see. See if I can make this happen. Here we go. Guys are getting a little behind the scenes tour. There's our live truck. All right, hopefully I don't cut out. It's just sprinkling here at the station right now. Let me try and flip my camera. There's some lightning. It looked a lot cooler before the sun went down out here. So I'm looking off to the northwest right now towards those storms near the Richland, Gull Lake area. It's probably hard to hear me, by the way, so my apologies there. Much. So that was kind of lame. Just some lightning. It's quiet right now, though, in Kalamazoo. We'll probably see that again, another cell that's down towards Schoolcraft. That'll work its way up towards Portage and eventually maybe the south part of Kalamazoo, maybe out towards Millwood as well. You all probably just lost me, but I'm going to walk back to our streaming computer, shut this off. And like I said, the plan going forward is I'll post another live, or we'll also have some updates on air as well if we have any more warnings issued. I think that chance is pretty low right now based on the trends that I've seen. But if it does, I'll let you know. All right, I'm going to end this because there's going to be feedback. Bye, everybody.